Well, an overall view of distillation really is take any raw material or base product that has alcohol or alcohol potential and extract the alcohol, enrich it, concentrate it, and bring as much of the flavour that you want with it. And so with the vodka, we have to start with the end product in mind, and the end product is a luxury sipping vodka like the Russians would make, not something that you'd throw 7-Up or orange juice into, although you could if you wished. We need to make a vodka that can be appreciated for its inherent qualities and drunk as a standalone drink, much like as one would sip away at a single malt or a cognac or a fine brandy. So we want our vodka to be appreciated. So to achieve that, you've got to start with grand raw materials. And our selected raw materials are spelt. I don't know if you know about spelt. Spelt is an ancient form of wheat. This is now the precious stuff. This is organic spelt grown in the Cederberg Mountains. So this spelt then is mixed with malted barley, and then we grind it into a flour in this ancient mill. That is an English grain mill made in Manchester, probably around 1915. And we found it on this farm, abandoned, and restored it, and that is used on virtually a daily basis to grind the grains to make the flour to make the vodka. And we have South Africa's only fields of spelt, which we grow in conjunction with a friend of ours in the Cederberg Mountains. And we do that because the spelt is precious. It needs to be grown high and cold, so we grow it right up on the snow line there. And we grow it far away from possible third-party contamination from anybody else's cereal or grain crops. And it's organically grown. And again, that fits in with our entirely holistic approach to the everything that we do here. So grains make great vodka, but grains are basically pure starch with some protein. So what we have with our process, what we have to do is we have to convert the starch to fermentable sugars, which is exactly the same as making beer. So the beginning process for our vodka is adequate or ideal even to make a beer, which can then be turned into a vodka or even a whiskey. So we first make a crude beer out of the spelt grains. So we mix those with malt, which contains the enzymes that convert the starch to fermentable sugars. All beer is started that way. And the mashing process involves grinding the grains into a coarse flour and then adding hot water and leaving them for about an hour and a half. And what you're left with is a sweet liquid. And the sweet liquid we then add yeast and ferment to make a crude beer. And the beer then contains alcohol because the fermentation process sees that the yeast converts the sugar into alcohol. And then the alcoholic beer is put into the pot still, and we distill 3, sometimes 4 times. So everything's a minimum of triple distilled. All the waste or spent grains go to be composted or to feed the bush chickens. And then once the vodka has been triple distilled, it's clear and fragrant, but the fragrance is notable because we require our vodka to have some residual flavour from the raw material, so that the spelt itself, the husk from the spelt, provides like a wheat germ oil, which becomes an essential oil, which is dragged through in the process and of enrichment and strengthening of the spirit and purification of the spirit. The only thing that comes out at the end of the process is virtually pure alcohol and the essential oils from the wheat, which give primitive vodka its hallmark flavour, which is slightly aniseedy, slightly yeasty, slightly peppery, and it makes it a very exciting and unique, distinct flavour to drink.